All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Sit down, Casey.
I think I have, but
You have a job?
That's why I was hanging out kind of this is the area with.
Fantastic, fantastic. Move the camera that way.
See, I look a big psychic now.
No. All right. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, a motion to accept the consent agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any conversation, discussion?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Did you ask if there was any errors to the minutes?
Nope. Oh, if there's errors, sure.
Sorry, I attended the last meeting.
Sure. You did attend, and it looks
October
like,
6th,
and it
correct.
looks like you did not.
They don't have an X next to my name, so my
You were not
assumption is that- But I did make a
Okay.
motion that says in the minutes, so my proof that I was there.
All right, awesome. All right, perfect, thank you. Any other? Okay, also, just so you guys know, C under number 5, the Greater Rutland or the Rutland County School Board Chair has been canceled. So that meeting will no longer be happening, so that's just crossed off. Okay. All right, anything else? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, public comment. Nothing online?
Don't have the verbal eyes though.
Okay, thank you. All right, pre-K presentation recommendation.
Right. I'm gonna ask these ladies to come up and join me.
Was it going to be behind us?
Yeah.
Is there a button?
I just turned it on, I think. It should be green.
So good evening, folks. I'm Chris Benway, the Director of Special Services, and I'm here with our early education team from Slate Valley. So I'd like to introduce you to Sarah Mason, who is our early childhood special educator, Katie Hart, who is a universal preschool teacher at Fairhaven Grade School, and Laura Daly, who is also a universal preschool teacher at the Castleton Elementary School site. As you are aware, and you can advance the slide, Casey, or you can bring around, Walter, sorry. We have been implementing preschool education here in Slate Valley for many, many years. But in 2014, Act 166 was passed, which gave all students access to 10 hours per week of publicly funded preschool education for 35 weeks of the year. We have, since that time, had a significant increase in the number of participants, and we'll talk about that in our program. The Preschool Act 166 allows any child between the ages of 3 and 5, or they could be over 5 if they're not yet enrolled in kindergarten, to be eligible to participate either in a school-operated program for those 10 hours a week or with an approved private partnership program. So all the programs have to receive a pre-qualification status in order for us to be eligible to partner with them. But if we have students that are interested in a partner program, then we develop a contract with that eligible partner program, and the school district pays the tuition for those students to go to that private entity for up to 10 hours a week for the 35 weeks of the school year. We currently offer 2 program sites with 3 classrooms each in our district, which was a change from the year prior, and we're going to talk to you a little bit more about the configuration. Sorry.
So currently, we have 2 programs, as Chris said, at Castleton and Fairhaven. The configurations are pretty similar. We have 3 sections at each site. The times ranging from 7:45 to 11:05 in the morning section, and the afternoon comes in at 11:45 to 3:05. That's 3 days a week. And then 2 days a week, we have the longer sections for 5 hours. Next slide, go. As far as right now, we have 32 students enrolled at Castleton in the pre-K program and 36 at Fairhaven Elementary. This slide just shows the 7 current partnership programs we have. So those are students that are residents of our school district that are currently accessing new pre-K at these other sites. The curriculum that we use in our programs aligns with the Vermont Early Learning Standards, and we strive to adapt all of the experiences at school to make sure that all children can participate and learn. We use a lot of research-based programs that really enrich children's learning through play-based experiences. And we also assess children 3 times a year across all domains of development. So that means social emotional, language, cognitive, literacy, math, and motor skills. And then we enter that data into the teaching strategies fold, which is shared with the state twice. These advanced. Some of the specific programs that we use, We Thinkers is a new social emotional curriculum that we've been using, which kind of focuses on emotions, problem solving, self-control. The Bridges Math Number Corner is really hands-on and engaging and has a lot to do with early number concepts and just getting kids interested and having fun. We use the Foundations and Zoophonics, which is also new for letters and sounds, and that's just really giving kids some exposure to sort of jumpstart their learning in kindergarten. And the Zoophonics in particular pairs the visual and sound with motor movement, which increases engagement. And we've collected some pretty exciting data with regard to kids' retention of letter and sound with that program. And then we also use PASS, which focuses on rhyming and blending and segmenting. So again, kind of like letter sounds. And then we also do some work with coaches to further really literacy skills and math skills and kind of make sure that we're aligned with the science of reading. These advanced. In the typical day for you pre-K, each program sets up their schedule a little bit differently, but we both include all of these components into our day. And each part of the day is really an opportunity for kids to work on multiple skills at one time, which is the beauty of preschool and play-based learning, that we really can target a lot of skills with every single activity that we're doing.
And I did make some copies of this if you want to pass them out. I know it's a little difficult to see on the screen. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the standards that we follow. These are Vermont Early Learning Standards.
Just bring it up, yeah.
These are the Vermont Early Learning Standards. And if you go on the AOE, there's also a copy that you can access if you're interested in looking at them closer. They show importance of how important it is for play and what happens while you're playing during learning. This might just look like a cartoon to you, but there is a lot going on in here. There's a lot of examples where kids are playing, but they're also learning, skills such as math skills or early literacy skills or learning how to take turns, sharing, all those important things that they're going to need, problem solving as they're learning. And these are some of the areas that they actually look at when we're talking about that fine motor, gross motor, communication, self-regulation, social skills, pre-academic skills, early literacy, play, fun, friends, all those things are happening in the classroom. There's just a few examples here from.
It's kind of like, many of you may remember that old poem about everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten, right? Everything you need to know you learn in preschool. Same connotations. The pictures, say 1,000 words, and I think you can tell by the pictures that you shared throughout the slide, and these are pictures, you may recognize some of those young friends in the pictures, but there is a lot going on a daily basis. In preschool, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of energy, kids are inside and outside as much as we can get them. Involved in a variety of learning and what looks like play, right? A few years ago, we had the opportunity, we had some additional funds that were available to us after the ARA funds, they were called, or the ESSER funds. And what we needed to do was to use those monies for activities or things that could be sustainable. So we spent a large portion of our monies at the early childhood level at looking at outdoor play equipment and opportunities for kids to really explore the natural world around them. And so you can see at our playground in Fairhaven and also at Castleton, we have a lot of natural wood structures and opportunities for kids to engage with the natural environment. We've got some statistics wanted to share with you. Shared a similar slide last year, but as you can tell, if I have included the previous 5 years, I've only included the previous 3. But they look very similar. We serve approximately between 110 and 113 students each year. That's inclusive of the programs that we operate here in Slate Valley, as well as in our partner programs. And you can see the breakdown of the numbers there for the last 3 years. There was a lot of conversations early on in the legislative session last year about potential increases to the amount of time or increases to full-day programming for 4-year-olds. That legislation did not end up passing, and due to all of the other legislation that's been proposed around fiscal changes and redistricting, early childhood was sort of put on the back burner at this time.
So we hold our developmental screenings every year, typically in March and April. So they haven't been scheduled yet, but those are screenings that we invite all 3 to 5-year-olds in the residing district. And we do encourage birth to 2 to come as well. Sometimes we're able to partner with the Rutland County Parent-Child Center just to get eyes on those kids and really encourage them to come to pre-K and meet us and visit our schools.
One of the challenges when we're looking at serving the pre-K population or the early childhood special education, serving students in early childhood special education is we're trying to predict now as we do the budgets, students that are, only yet turning 2. And we're trying to predict what their needs are going to be a year from now as we look at that population of students entering as 3-year-olds in the fall. So there is a bit of work with a crystal ball that we do in terms of anticipating some of those needs, but we're very glad to have the ability to partner with Rutland Parent-Child Center and try to get an early sneak peek at who some of those students are that may be coming in future years and to get a sense of what their needs are and their skills so that we can plan accordingly. Introduced you ladies to you earlier. There were changes in our roles this year. In the past, each one of these ladies served as both an early childhood special educator and a university preschool teacher. The change to operating programs in 2 buildings versus 3 buildings allowed us to reconfigure that work, and Sarah now serves as the early childhood special educator and also the pre-K lead teacher and supports both of the programs and goes back and forth between the 2 schools. As we look at the population of students that we have now and the population that we anticipate serving next year, we do believe that our current configuration of having 2 program sites, each one with 3 class offerings, is sufficient to be able to continue to serve our students for the coming school year. Within the current configuration that we do have openings in almost all of those. In almost all the classrooms, we have about 12 spaces available currently at Castleton Elementary School and 7 spaces available between the 3 program times at Fairhaven Grade School. So that gives us about 19 current openings in addition to all those students that we're currently serving. So we do believe that with the changes that we've made, it gives us the capacity to serve upwards of 45 students in each of those buildings. So a total of 90 students within our current configuration. And you can see that right now between our programs and the partner programs, we're serving at about 113. So We feel really confident about our ability to serve our preschoolers in that configuration, and it would be the recommendation of the administrative team to continue with things as we have them outlined in the 25-26 school year for the 26-27 school year. Oh, happy to answer any questions that folks may have.
I'm curious about popularity between the 5-hour block sessions and the shorter block. Is one more popular than the other, or it just depends on the student coming in? What the, maybe a shorter day is better for them?
I think a lot of it depends on the parent's schedule too. When we do our screenings, we do ask parents that question. We say, these are the options and what is best for you. So a lot of times it depends on that. Sometimes it also depends on the age of the children.
I would agree. Here, I feel like because a lot of families walk, it seems to open up a lot of flexibility for them in their schedules. But I think I had an equal number of people interested in afternoon sessions and 3-day a week versus the 2-day for various reasons.
Okay. Thank you.
So I see in the 23-24 school year, we had a 71% participation of 4-year-olds, which is better than the previous 2 years. Do we know why the other 29% of kids that age aren't participating? Is it they're going somewhere else, or parents just don't bring them, or?
It's a great question. There are some that are at home with parents. There are others that might be going to programs that are not partner programs, so they might be going to another childcare or preschool facility that's not an eligible partner, and so they might be spending their time there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so what we would need for action is we need a motion to keep the configuration that we have now for next year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or comments?
So Julie,
Yeah.
I just would like to say that fully in support of it. I'd love to be assured that somehow we get that information to people in some format so that so basically we don't have a situation like last year where people.
Oh, so when we changed it and they
If you
didn't.
recall last year,
Yep,
yes,
yep.
we changed the location,
Yep.
and some of the feedback that we had received was that people did not know that at a meeting just similar to this, we
Made the same,
had
made a
made the
decision.
same basic,
Yep.
move, if you
Yep.
will. And I don't know exactly how to do it. Obviously, it's in our notes. I understand all that, but even telling people that, I think that they felt like they were blindsided. So I just
Yep.
want to make sure that there's some way, and maybe somebody has a good method to do that, but
Yep.
I just
I
don't
was
want
gonna ask
anyone to
you-
come back with the blindsidedness again.
I was going to ask a related question. Do they seem, maybe you can answer this, do they seem okay now? Do they seem satisfied or at least accepting?
We ended up with 4 students that were returning that were offered either priority placement at one of our existing programs. I think 2 of the 4 took us up on those offers and are attending our programs, and 2 of the 4 are attending partner programs.
But you're not hearing.
But I haven't heard any,
you're not
we haven't heard any
hearing
more
complaints
feedback.
From the Benson parents at this
So they all got placed, they all took placement, but we just haven't heard feedback on those places, like,
And we have done, looked at our birth rates for the towns in terms of the number of potentially eligible 3-year-olds coming up in. And in total, between Fairhaven, Castleton, and Benson, we have less than 45 that are anticipated.
2-year-olds.
Of incoming 3-year-olds.
Right, so
across
now
the district.
2-year-olds.
Yes, that are currently 2.
Okay.
So one of the challenges also, I would say, is we can put notices out there, but folks may not have been born, for example, when the students were born, they might not have been living in the community of Benson, so then I don't have contact information for kids that are not yet ours yet. that becomes the challenge. So there's certainly something that we can put out in the notes, and I can talk to Brooke about whether.
Or
it's
Chris
something
can
we
put a blurb in the
newsletter.
newsletter, but that's only gonna go to people who have signed
Yeah, I
up,
even,
you know, like.
yeah, I even
We
wonder
might
if
be able to talk to principals about sending something in their Thursday packet that would reach current families, or their weekly newsletters or something like that, or potentially there are some community newsletters or bulletins.
yeah, that's more what I was
Yeah.
hoping for, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other thoughts? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you very much, pre-K.
Thank you.
All right. Act 73 discussion. As we know, there was an article in the paper. I don't know if everybody saw it, about Rutland Northeast having conversations with Greater Rutland. Remember how they sent us asking us to be, they did the same thing to everybody, right? And their conversation made it into the news. And so as you can imagine, tensions in Rutland County can be a tad high when you're talking about losing a school, potentially losing a school, or moving a school, or making some of these tough decisions. So there is discussion happening, and maybe we'll hear a little bit more about it if anybody goes to the Taskforce, the Redistricting Taskforce on Wednesday night from 6 to 8. You might hear a little more of those type of conversations and comments happening in that forum.
Where is that being held? Is it
At Rutland High School.
Rutland High, yeah.
But you can also attend virtually.
Virtually,
Yeah. So anyways, that's just kind of where we stand with that. I think this is going to be, as you know, adults are challenging. So I think it's going to be a challenging time in our county and kind of in our state as we work through all these things. So anybody else have anything they want to share? I don't want to ignore it because it's moving along, right? Things are moving along, and hopefully we'll hear some more on Wednesday if you go to that or are able to attend that electronically. So. All right, committee reports, Building and Grounds Committee. Peter.
Tonight, we went over our list of different things that we would like to do this coming year. Things from just boilers to replacing roofs, painting, new lighting, things like that. So we're working on what we're going to be thinking about doing it. The best part about this is most of the stuff we're doing is stuff that's just to keep upgrading things. It's not an emergency, like something's broken stuff. And also we're starting to float around the idea of bringing back some sort of industrial arts program and building something for that at some point in the future. That's basically what we talked about.
I attended remotely the last meeting. Was there any kind of informal tour of the Orwell facilities?
No, what was
No,
that?
Chris,
It was locked.
It was
yeah,
locked.
they had said that it wasn't safe yet to have people go through, so
Okay.
I don't know whenever we're there again, but it might not be till the spring, but we can certainly organize something if folks want to see it sooner.
Yeah. When is it supposed to open?
End of the month,
Yeah.
but, well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, end of the
That's the goal.
couple of weeks.
Okay. Okay.
That's the goal. And as far as I know, we're still on schedule.
Okay.
I think industrial arts would be very popular among a number of people, but it also, to me, sounds expensive.
It is.
Well, what we were talking, what I appreciated about the whole conversation we just had at Building and Grounds is, we've done, I think, and it's my opinion, we've done a really good job of taking care of our buildings over time since we've started being better at making 5-year plans, looking at, emergent, we've done a really good job. And our buildings are really, they're just at the cusp of coming together, but of course they're still needed and there will always be needed updates along the way. And so we just talked about kind of where we're at. We're not in emergency mode anymore. We're starting to get in maintenance mode, which is nice. We're starting to shift. But that we also, there's so many unknowns right now. Look at, there's going to be no change to CTEs as far as we know, right? At the statewide level. Yes, they're looking at building a $146 million one up in Barry. That's got to pass first before that even goes anywhere. So yeah, the conversation was there, and I think it's a valid conversation because I think our community would appreciate it. but where are we in our scope of maintenance and upkeep? We want to make sure we stay there too.
This may be a premature question. Well, it is, but I mean, is there room for it?
Not within our existing space, which we also talked about. We are using every inch of space in this building. So not in our existing space. Yep. So, yeah.
All right, I have a silly question.
That's okay.
Can you elaborate on what industrial arts is? Is it like drafting and architecture?
So it can be a variety of things. We used to call it industrial arts. Basically, just think technical training. So anything from small engines to welding to
Oh,
woodworking, right, to anything like that. It used to be called industrial arts, but it has a much more broad connotation than that now.
But yeah, we should probably change that wording.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you're younger than 50, you probably don't
Yeah.
really
What that means.
know what that
Yeah.
means
One of the
easily.
classes was drafting.
Yeah.
And, you know, not everybody wants to enroll in staff.
Well, there's also not always enough space.
Right.
So a lot of times students can't get in and have to stay here, right? So that's another thought about it too. Like I said, they're not going to all of a sudden magically make Stafford bigger and create accept more students. So go ahead, John.
And the other thing too is it gives the students the opportunity to sample all of these things and learn, let's just say life skills. How many kids these days can
Turn around.
turn a wrench
Read a tape.
to be kind, or change a tire in the car, but that's a
Yeah.
different story. But, and they're not gonna may not want to commit to a year or 2 years in staff. Remember when I was in school, we built some stuff with wood, we did various things in metal shop. Yeah, we learned how to tune up our lawnmower. And, these days it would be more, your electric weed whacker.
Right.
But, these are life skills that kids, so many don't have and don't have the opportunity
Yeah.
to acquire.
It's important to plant seeds and start talking about these things.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a young student here this weekend, and he said that in the driver's ed class, they are required to videotape. I don't know if this is true, but this is what he told me. They're required to videotape themselves changing the oil in a car and changing a tire.
All right.
And I think that's fabulous. But there's a lot of kids out there that don't know how to do that. Now, if we had this program in place, we could make that happen for them before they're actually out there. I don't know, is that true, Brooke? Have you heard that?
I'm not sure on that one.
Went to driver ed here 100 years ago? No.
No, I
Never
know.
learned
I mean,
how to
but now
change
we
a
have a
tire or
contract.
change
We have a
the oil.
contract. Yeah, but
We
now
have
there's a contract.
So we have a
service,
contract
so I don't know,
service
it's something
here.
we could certainly ask
And
Jerry
so our
Ben.
contracted service gentleman is asking the children to do
I
that.
didn't mention that in the meeting today.
Right.
Happened to be
Yeah.
there for the meeting, and he just talked about the
Yep.
class time and the driving time, that's all he talked about. But that doesn't mean.
Yeah,
Right.
which I
We'll-
think
we'll
is
look at-
really
we'll
good.
look into
Yeah,
it.
I think it's,
I mean, it's a great idea. I don't mean it that way. I just mean.
Yeah.
It would
no, I worked for the DMV
be
before I
another
retired,
thing that
and
you
kids
would,
were coming in, I didn't have to ask them to do that to pass their
I
test.
know.
And thank God I didn't,
Yeah.
because I'm so sure I would have known how to change everybody's tires on all these new,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
That's true.
So I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Any other buildings and grounds, thoughts? All right, policy committee was me. And tonight, we would like to warn B8, electronic communications, and E21, distribution of non-school sponsored literature. So remember, when we warn them, that means your next packet before they're adopted, you will get the full policy to look at, and you can ask questions when we are going to adopt, if we need to send them back, however that works. But we would like to warn tonight, so I need a motion to warn B8, electronic communications, and E21, distribution of non-school sponsored literature.
So moved.
Second. Any questions? All right, you'll see those policies in your next, well, when will we do that next? 24th?
Probably won't be till the 24th of
Right.
November.
Because they have to be warned for a certain amount of time. And then, okay, perfect. All right. Any question? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, awesome. We're on to second public comment. All right.
So,
Yeah.
if I can just say, I just wanted to mention that, I think it was last week, I don't know, my weeks go by and I don't know what date it is, to tell you the truth, but the State Board of
Yes.
Ed was here in this very room, and I just wanted to say that I was pretty proud of the performance or the presentation that was provided to the State Board. I thought that Brooke and the teachers and everyone who presented really did a marvelous job. Julie was a presenter.
It was great.
Chris was a
Yeah, it was great.
presenter, and
I was here for the
who else was
walkthrough,
But-
and I thought that was a phenomenal job.
here. Yeah, so I just wanted
Really-
to say thank you very much. I think you,
Absolutely.
we were well
Really,
represented.
yeah, absolutely.
For sure, so thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Patty.
Chris, and I'm sorry, I didn't have everybody who was there, and
Chris,
principal, I don't know, whoever did it, they did a great job, all of you.
Yeah, absolutely did a great
Yeah, it
job.
was nice. Awesome. All right, agenda building. Oh, I wanted to mention that on the bottom of our agenda, it said the next board meeting was this Wednesday at 6:30 at the high school, and it is not.
It's not.
It is November 3rd at Fairhaven Grade School. So I just wanted to clarify that. All right, and then what do we have for agenda building?
The big discussion will be the preliminary budget, because we will have had a finance meeting before. Hoping the finance meeting can start at 5 o'clock that evening.
Okay.
So I think that'll be the big discussion.
And that would be at,
Grade school.
in
Fairhaven
the
Grade-
conference-
Fairhaven
in
Grade
the
School.
conference room, or?
We usually for finance, we meet in the conference room, and then
Yeah.
we meet in the media center typically for the board
Yeah.
meeting.
And we'll probably have Act 73 or.
Yeah, we'll probably have an
looking
Act
at something.
73 update.
Some update, yeah.
Yep.
As soon as any maps get discussed in earnest, I would love to know.
Well,
I mean, I know. about
there's
the
been
green
some
tech.
movement on some of that, yes.
Yeah.
I'm changing my finance committee to 5 o'clock right now, or it will not get changed. Yeah. Yep.
Is it gonna be 5 o'clock? Because you
Yeah.
said we were hoping.
I was looking
Yeah,
at
Glenn.
Glenn when I said
Oh, okay,
hoping, because
okay.
he's the
Yeah.
chair, so I'm hoping he says yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Eh,
Just, this is kind of all pertains to Act 73 and the discussion of Stafford not having space.
Yep.
And I don't know the condition of other buildings, but at some point, if there were to be a high school that was to close, could that be repurposed as a second CTE building for some programs? I mean, is it space at Stafford that's limiting the number of students? Or is it teacher numbers to fulfill the program?
I'd say it's some of both. Yeah, I'd say it's some of both, and I would think that all of that stuff could possibly be on the table.
So hypothetically speaking, just a hypothetical. Say Pullman were
I was
to,
just gonna say that.
say we were to, let's say, consolidate with Pullman. I would foresee maybe Pullman being the junior high or middle school or whatever. So ours would get sent down there. And of course, ours exists in the old industrial arts area. And then we could reconstitute industrial arts there.
Potentially, depending on what numbers we get, if it's just not Pulteney, right? You don't know what kind of,
Yeah,
But yeah.
I mean, I don't, yeah, I mean, I think all of those things are definitely possibilities. Who knows what's going to happen?
I mean, I know that with Hannaford, they've got their second campus. It's
Yeah.
out in the industrial park
Yeah.
for a couple of programs.
Yeah,
And I think that was a wise move on their part, moving auto mechanics, diesel mechanics out of the regular classroom
Right.
building. Because
Yeah.
some of that stuff does generate noise.
Yeah.
So it's
and smell.
in its own little corner of the world now.
Well, Stafford also has different buildings for some of their.
Do they have?
programs. Yeah.
I've never been there,
Buildings,
so.
I think it is for the programs they do.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's still on, the high school
Yeah.
campus but to your point, as far as buildings.
All great conversations as we are so uncertain about what's coming up next. So, yep. Anything else you can think of? That's really it right now? Okay.
Right now.
All right, I need an executive session for personnel superintendent contract under Title I, Section 313, blah, blah, and we will be taking action.
So,
Whatever.
Thank you.
You can go on the executive session.
Yep.
right?
Here's your big time.
All right, we're out of executive session. Can I get a motion, please, to accept the superintendent's contract for the next 3 years of superintendent contract? Second. So Peter was one, maybe that's me. Peter first, Abby second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, third, no. Third.
And may I just explain for a second?
Sure, you may.
I feel that I'm representing a certain segment of the population.
Thank you. All right, motion to adjourn. So that was Peter again. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, close. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Bye, guys.